Hi, today I'd like to show you a few stamps that got a bit of history behind them. Now the first ones I'm going to show are from a princely state that made up part of the British Raj when Britain gave up its colonies. A lot of them came after the Second World War. India, well, the British Raj was split into two parts, India and Pakistan. Now Pakistan took most of the Muslim majority areas and India took over most of the Hindu areas. So all these princely states, there was 584 of them, they could decide whether they joined India or Pakistan. And one of the last ones to decide which ones to go into was this state. Now it joined Pakistan in 1955. Mainly because it was a Muslim state up in the next to Pakistan, so it would have been easier to join Pakistan than India. And then once it joined Pakistan, the number of Hindus that lived in the state then had to transfer into India. So these are the stamps from this Indian state. Now I'm going to completely get the name wrong, but I'm going to say Pahalwapur, if that's right. I don't know. So these are the stamps just before it started to join part of Pakistan. Now part of it is the history behind this. These are these sort of small area or era between independence from the British and then joining Pakistan. Now the other thing is the quality of these stamps. Now look at this, the intricacy of the, I think there might be engravings or such, and also the colours. Look at that, green and orange, and the black and red. So nice. They really look quite good quality compared with what we've got nowadays, where it is all just pictures really. But the quality, and look at those, if you saw that on a stamp you'd think, yeah, this is real quality. So this is one of the, if you ever thought of collecting stamps again, I know it's not a big thing nowadays, but Indian states are an area which would be quite a useful project because it has this history. Even under the British Raj they had different currency and stamps for each of these sort of little statelets. And I think you'll see that the quality of these stamps is quite good with the Nawabs, is it Nawabs, who rule these areas. The next one I'm going to show you is some stamps I got from somebody that sent them from Ukraine. It was part of the time when Ukraine was becoming independent from the Soviet Union. So these are Soviet stamps with some Ukrainian emblems on. You've got this, is it a bird or something like that? This sort of emblem of Ukraine. So these are mainly old Russian stamps that have got overstamped with Ukrainian symbols and taken over as Ukrainian. While this one is actually one of the early Ukrainian, it just says on Ukraine on the side there. But the others are Russian stamps, Neuter, SSSR. So these have got doggies on them. So it's interesting that when a country becomes independent, they have to take the old stamps and then stick their own emblem on them until they get their own stamps. Like this one here, where they've actually got some real stamps. Before that it was all like this, where it's got Neuter, CCP, so it was Russian post. I think Neuter means post or something like that. So that's, again, it's quite interesting that these have got a history to them. This little window between the end of the Soviet Union and the beginning of Ukraine. The next ones I'm going to show you are some ones So they are called field post. So these are ones, military ones, that were used by the Austro-Hungarians who invaded Romania in the First World War in 1916. They invaded and took over about 2/3 of Romania because Romania sided with the Allies, so they sided with the British and Americans and French against the Germans and the Austrians. So this is Austro-Hungarian stamps that have got the head of, I think this is the last, it was after Franz Joseph died in the late part of the war, and he was taken over by Karl I, I believe it is, and I think this is his portrait they've got on here. So again, it's this very short period of time, maybe a couple of years, because they ended in 1918 when the war came to an end. So it's only 2 years that these would have been official. So they took Austrian stamps and then put the Bani and Lai, or Li, I'm not sure how you would say that, of the Romanian currency and stuck it on there. So these were used for the field post. Next ones I'm going to show is the Aden. These are early Aden stamps with the ruler of Aden. Now he was sort of under British protection, this British protection ship. And again, these are very beautiful stamps, I think. Very well made. I think they were probably all made in Europe, probably in London. But they do look rather nice, and they've got some overstamping. So Aden is now part of Yemen, this troubled area on the southern part of the Arabian Peninsula. Now part of Yemen, part of where the Houthis are now entrenched in the civil wars and other wars that are going on there now. So this is, again, it was this period between the British protectorate, and you've still got the rulers on there. And here we've got the British, when the British had it over in the Queen Elizabeth stamps and George the VI stamps. There we got him. And again, we've got some more similar. But they do look good quality, even at this period. So we've got Aden again. So again, these are quite good stamps to collect because they do give you this history. So I hope you enjoyed this quick, brief overview of stamps and their history. Please give it a like. Please subscribe if you haven't. And look at my other videos. All my videos are not really time dated because they're topics that don't age. They're sort of things that are like stamps and this. They don't age. They just carry on. So even if they're a year or two old, they're still relevant today. Okay, please give it a thumbs up, comment if you can, and subscribe if you haven't, because it all helps my little channel. And I'll come back to you again soon with some more, hopefully, interesting facts. Okay, see you soon. Bye.